What is up, guys? Raid Kackis here. Thank you so much for stopping by, and today we are going to be showcasing guides for all of the Deep Stone Crypt raid challenges, time-stamped for your convenience, so you can simply scroll through the play bar and find whatever is the active challenge whenever you're watching this video. Now that's what I call quality content worth subscribing over. Anyways, let's get started with some important information. Now, firstly, you can tell what the active challenge is by simply hovering over an icon when you're about to load into the Deep Stone Crypt. You don't have to go to the tower and pick up a bounty like the old days. When you complete a challenge for the first time, you're going to get a special triumph, which of course goes towards an overall title, but on subsequent completions, you're still going to get access to, as you can see, 2 raid chests instead of the normal 1. So even if you've already done a challenge, it's definitely still worth doing if you have raid loot you're going after. Alright, now let's begin here with the first encounters challenge, Red Rover. Alright, now for this challenge, every single fireteam member in your 6-man fireteam needs to take a turn going down to the lower level of this arena and shooting wall panels. Here's the issue. Normally, one person is going to grab operator, which starts the encounter. They are going to go into the lower level, and they are going to be told by the scanner who's staying up above which panels to shoot on the light side and the dark side. Once they do that, then you start a damage phase. And normally, if you're using powerful weapons like Xenophage, you can one-phase this encounter's, boss, so to speak. It's a bunch of tubes on a wall, but I digress, and then just beat it. But because all 6 people need to go down there, and you really only have time for 3-ish damage phases, you're actually going to need to do half of an encounter as the operator. So how it's going to work out is as follows. The operator is still going to grab it, start the encounter, and head down to the bottom. Now, once they're down there, they're going to shoot only one of the sides. So they're going to shoot, for example, light side, and still they're going to follow the directions given out by the scanner. After they've shot just light side, they're going to switch and get out. And you accomplish that by sending operator back up, implanting it in the only console down at the bottom, and then whoever's coming in next grabs it up top and switches with you. Remember to switch operator, because normally you don't have to do that. After transferring the buff upstairs, the person grabs it and shoots the door open and then shoots the middle door downstairs, and that kind of lets the person up. Now, at that point, you're kind of trapped there until the new operator heads down. That unlocks the doors and lets the old operator escape that room. From there, if the first guy only did the panels on the light side, the second operator to head down only does the panels on the dark side, and then a damage phase is going to occur. Remember, you're still going to have to put operator in the terminal, which sends it up to someone else to grab, and then someone's going to have to send scanner down so the person downstairs can read off which of the different tubes to shoot. But remember, you're only shooting 2 tubes. You can one-phase it here again, but obviously only 2 fireteam members have been down there. So once you shoot 2 different tubes, stop. Then you're going to have to wait for the damage phase to end and have whoever has operator now go and save the person at the bottom and do the same thing. Shoot only light or dark side, head up, switch with someone else, they shoot the other half, trigger another damage phase where again you're only shooting 2 of the tubes. Do the same thing and rotate the last 2 of your fireteam members through, and then finally shoot the last 2 tubes to complete this encounter and the challenge. Now remember, if you're downstairs for too long, a bunch of fire will flood that room and kill you. So why you're seeing us wait around is we're waiting for the scanners to get set up, so we're not just waiting around down there for their callouts. So everyone needs to be pretty fast on it, and that also means you really want to have the different panels labeled from 1 to 5 on each of the sides, and everyone needs to know the labeling. So if the person who has scanner says, okay, dark side 2 and 3, you know exactly which panels to shoot. Now moving on from there to the second encounter, we have the Copies of Copies challenge. Now, for this one, the easiest way to explain it overall is that you want to deposit 0 of the souls, I guess you would call it. Because normally within this encounter, after you kill one of the copies of Atrax, someone is going to have to pick up the purple object left behind. They get the Atrax's replication debuff, and they need to go to a certain airlock and blast it out of the ship. And if they don't, if the timer reaches 0, the entire team wipes. So how do you accomplish not getting rid of any of them and completing this challenge? Well, quite simply put, it's juggling and ricochet rounds. So normally you have one person that's an operator up top in the airlocks room anyways, and their job is to lead people to the airlocks and keep blasting those Atrax replications out of the ship. Now this time, instead, all they're going to do is constantly juggle them, because when you actually shoot them off of anyone's head, the timer resets. So if someone is coming up from the bottom, often you'll have the person with operator up top shoot them anyways so they can pick it back up again, reset the timer, just so you have more time and make things easier. But instead this time, whoever is operator is simply going to stand next to a wall, and you can see my teammate doing it in the background right here, and bounce with ricochet rounds off a wall and shoot the buff off of their own head. They pick up the next one and shoot it off of their head, and they keep rotating over and over again. That is the only thing they are concerned with the entire time during this encounter. The other 5 people are playing totally normally. They are simply going to go and sword all of the different Atraxes and hopefully get the encounter done as quickly as possible, so the operator doesn't have to juggle as many of the replication souls. But that's really all there is to it. So that means that you're still going to have to collect the souls and potentially bring them, like from the bottom up top, to the operator. Just instead of then being led to an airlock, you're simply going to have it shot off of your head, where then the operator takes it and then just starts juggling it in a corner in safety and doing their own thing for the rest of the encounter. Remember, if the operator is getting a little overwhelmed, simply have nearby teammates go and grab some of the buffs and have them easily shot off their heads, and then they can go away again. That buff is good for another 45 seconds. Alright, now moving on from there, we have the third encounter and the Of All Trades challenge. Now for this one, in broad strokes, what you need to do is every single member of your fire team needs to utilize every single one of the different buffs within this encounter before it ends. So you and all of your teammates need to have 1 round as scanner, 1 round as suppressor, and 1 round as operator. Now, with a good team and good communication, and importantly, a certified order of passing, so for example, yellow, then blue, then red. So whoever has been yellow is then blue, whoever's been blue is then red, whoever's red is then back to yellow. Like, if you have that defined order, and again, good communication, you can get it done with just that. However, for the rest of you guys, this chart, made by Reddit user Joe Gibbons, will explain things in a lot easier aspect. So if you follow this chart by simply assigning numbers to all the different players, so someone's player 1, someone's player 2, player 3, player 4, player 5, player 6, and then you go through the different rounds. So round 1, player 1 is always going to pick up scanner, player 3 is going to get operator, and player 5 is going to get suppressor. They're going to do their jobs. You deposit the nuclear cores. Once they've been deposited, everyone, not just the people who are deactivated, are going to put their buffs into the terminals and have them picked up by the next people. So then player 2 picks up scanner, player 4 picks up operator, and then player 6 picks up suppressor, and then they do their jobs. Then when the nuclear cores are deposited, you switch again and simply follow the chart, and you will be absolutely golden. Also remember that you alternate between rounds where you're doing a task and then you have rounds off and then you're doing a task again. So if you had a round off, you should know, oh crap, it's time for me to grab a buff, take a look at the chart and do so. And if you've just done something, remember, you're then due for a round off. Alright, now moving on from there, we have the final boss encounter and the Core 4 challenge. Now for this one, it's pretty darn easy because the challenge is actually what the most common strategy for this encounter is anyways, and that is to deposit all 4 cores from Taniks at the exact same time. So what you're going to need to do is as follows. So you still will have to have one person assigned to be suppressor and one person assigned to be operator in order to free a couple of the trapped people, but the other 4 teammates are all going to pick up cores. So when Taniks moves to 1/3 of the map, those 4 people are going to descend on him and shoot all of his different thrusters, I guess, and get all 4 nuclear cores to come out and pick them up. Now, you may be thinking, well, what about the scanner? Where do we know where to go? Well, you simply go to the 4 different deposit boxes where Taniks isn't. So whatever 1/3 of the map he's on, don't go to the 2 on that side, simply take them to the 2/3 Taniks isn't on. Now, once all 4 get deposited, you do have a damage phase, but if you do this, your damage phase is actually going to be longer than normal with 3 phases instead of only 2. So you have a pretty good chance to, I guess technically 1 phase Taniks and get it over with. If you don't do enough damage, you can actually keep going and just make sure the next time you also deposit 4 cores. There'll be another damage phase and hopefully you can finish Taniks off. And that's all there is to it. Enjoy 2 more final chests. Guys, that is it for the video. I hope you enjoyed, found this informative, and if you did, please remember to help me out by simply rating and especially sharing this video. If you guys want to see more Destiny 2 content similar to this, don't be afraid to slap that subscribe button. If you want to get in touch with me and keep up to date with the latest channel activity, the best way is to follow me on Twitter at @RickKackis. That's linked in the description down below. Again, I hope you enjoyed the video, and as always, have a good day.